Good win, one we obviously needed. I thought our defense was better. Start to the second half was much better than we've been. I thought our defensive intensity, we sustained it for longer periods than we have been. And, we need to win our home games, and we won that one, and it was a big win for us. So proud of our guys. I thought a lot of guys played well. I thought we had pretty even distribution on things, and guys, guys played hard, and guys played well for us. So that was certainly a positive.
It seemed like that was one of your better second halves of the year, just more consistent all the way through, no really dips. I mean, it's fast start and pretty even all the way through.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that, talking about that, working on that in practice. And I was happy to see some carryover. I thought I thought we should have been up a little bit more at halftime, but I thought the first 5 to 7 minutes of the second half really set the tone. Make them call the first time out. We scored a couple easy baskets, and I thought we made some good things happen there at the beginning of the second half, and that set the tone.
You guys were a lot more efficient on offense tonight. Could you just talk about the improvement from last game to this game in that department?
Well, the ball moved a little bit better. We played inside out. We got fouled. I was really proud of our free throw shooting, 83%. What were we, 19 of 23, I believe. So that was, that's been a trend the last two games where our free throw shooting's picking back up. That'd be great if that could continue here down the stretch. But I was really pleased with our ball movement. I thought the ball moved. It stuck a little bit there at the end of the first half, which is why we couldn't score. We were trying to play one-on-one off the bounce, and we're just not as good at that. But when the ball moves, we're very good.
Obviously, you coached against Pinson while he was at Missouri, and for him to play against them and get a win tonight, I mean, how big do you think that is for him, and is it something that he had mentioned kind of leading into the game?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think he wanted to beat him, but I mean, I think there's only two kids on the team that played with him, Pickett and Brown, so it's not like he's got, he knows everybody on the team or whatever. I think there's a lot of new guys, and he. But certainly, we didn't really talk about it that much. I just kind of let him be, and told him to just play his game, do what he does. But I think certainly there's something probably a little extra for him in this.
Well, this game seemed like it was the way that you guys had played before X had gotten his injury. How much do you think this really reset the tone and how you can really play?
Well, we talked about it coming in that we wanted to. I felt like the last month or so, we hadn't really had an identity. At the beginning of the year, we had a pretty clearly defined identity. We played really hard on defense. Our pressure was really good. We used our defense to turn into offense. And, the past month, since X has been down, we've kind of been working things back. We really haven't had an identity. We've just kind of been waffling in the wind. So we spent a lot of time in the last couple of days talking about getting back to having an identity, getting back to being who we were. And if we do that, we're really good. I showed a highlight tape before the game of, us earlier in the year, how we were in a stance and turning our defense into offense. And I think our guys understood what I was talking about, and we certainly played. I'm glad you noticed it, but I thought we played a little bit more like we did earlier in the year. We played a little bit better complementary basketball. Our offense helped our defense out, and I thought just overall we played a little bit more solid.
And one of the factors you didn't have, but you have now, is getting quality minutes out of Sharif. What did you think about his performance?
I thought he played great. We need to have Shaq here more often. But I thought he played really well. He did a good job finishing around the rim. Had a couple threes go in and out. Did a nice job rebounding. But I thought Sharif played really well.
20th win. Does that number mean anything, confidence-wise? Was that a goal going into the season, or is it just another game?
No, I mean, obviously when you get to 20 wins, that's kind of the benchmark that you've had a pretty good season in college basketball. And so, I'm proud of our guys. It's hard to win. It's hard to win. It's hard to win in the SEC. It's hard to win any Division I game. And so, obviously piling up 20 of them's good. And so I was really, really pleased to get the win. But, we gotta keep it moving forward. I don't think anybody's gonna be satisfied if we just win 20 this year. So we need to keep moving forward. But certainly, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the year, we'd be here. Now how we got here, everything got a little out of whack. But if you told me at the beginning of the year this is where we'd be, I'd have certainly taken it. And so it's solid, but we need to keep moving forward.
Coach, how much of an effect does a big win, a big second half, have on momentum going into a tough game against Arkansas in that kind of environment?
Well, we'll see. I mean, look, we've got some guys that play. We got some homebodies, some guys that play a lot better at home than on the road. And that's most teams. I was looking at some splits today from Auburn after they lost at Tennessee. Just their difference between their home and road splits is pretty remarkable, and we've got some of the same. I mean, look, Arkansas, I've seen them on tape and on film. I watched them play they have the number 1 defense in our league. I mean, they got 5. They look so connected to me, and I got to study them more tomorrow. They're just connected. They're in a stance. They have high hand. I mean, it's like a defensive clinic. And then Jalen Williams, he doesn't get nearly enough credit. I mean, he's averaging a double-double, and then Note goes for 30 tonight. And so, I mean, it'll be a huge undertaking. But certainly it's better going in after a win than after a loss. But it'll be a huge undertaking going to Bud Walton. It's never easy to win there. Their crowds have been tremendous. Their Tennessee game, their Kentucky game today, the Auburn game. I mean, their crowds have been off the charts. I'm sure it'll be packed to the rafters again for senior night on Wednesday night. And so we'll have a huge task ahead of us.
Coming off the Kentucky game, Brandon Murray, 11 points. Just what did you see from him tonight and how he's finding consistency?
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't do a great job at Kentucky of putting him in very good spots. I wanted to make a concerted effort. We got him going off the ball screen in the second play of the game. He threw it to X to kind of loosen up the hedge a little bit. But I thought, we wanted to make a concerted effort to get him going, to get him to feel the ball, touch the ball. Because when he does that, his defense is much better. And he really helps us defensively and helps us anchor that defense, especially with his communication and his talk. So that was certainly something that we wanted to make happen. And I thought he did a nice job tonight.
Back to Sharif, is how much you use him kind of going forward in March and as you get into tournament play and all that going to be based on matchups, on effectiveness, on foul situations?
Well, it's a lot of times it's based on matchups, but it's also based on preparation. Like we really have, 3 or 4 guys that can play that, the last couple rotation spots, and it's based on preparation. I thought he prepared really well for this game. He knew the plays. We have a play package for each game. Sometimes I go into shoot around and I'm like, I'm going to play this guy. And then they get out there and they stumble through stuff. And I'm like, all right. And there's some guys on our team that really, like, no matter how they practice, what they're going to do. But there's other guys that have to practice a certain way to even give themselves a chance to play well. And so, a lot of those rotational guys fall in that category. So it's really just, part of it's feel, like against A&M, we played Justice because they play 3 guards. Like teams that play bigger guys, obviously Sharif or Fudge has an advantage, And so a lot of it's feel and just knowing the scout and knowing what we got going on, and then really we need consistency, and we need some of these guys. I'm not Sharif, Justice, Fudge. Some of those, we need some of those guys to play well on the road. Like we haven't played, like if you look at we just haven't, they haven't been able to produce on the road. They've been really good at home in spurts and done a really nice job at home, but we need those guys. We need some of that stuff to travel, and hopefully this will give Sharif some confidence, and he'll get back in here and keep working and give him a little bit of consistency, and he can travel and play well for us, at Arkansas. Because if he could play well and hit some threes and do what he does, finishing around the rim and his rebounding, it could give us a little jolt here coming down the stretch for sure.
As a former player from Missouri, was Pinson able to give you any insight on the schemes Missouri would play with?
He told us what 2 of the plays were called. But, they changed what they've done a little bit. And like I said, he couldn't really give us a whole lot on personnel. In fact, we've run it all year. We call it zoo for Missouri, but but we stole one of his favorite plays at the beginning of the year. They call it 4, I believe. But we stole that, and we've run it all year. It was one of his favorite plays there, and it's turned into actually one of our better plays, one of our more efficient plays. It's a hell of a play. So we took that from them, and we've called it Zoo all year, and we put it in a different little package tonight so we could kind of disguise it. We ran it probably twice tonight, 2 or 3 times tonight. But outside of that, they've changed up what they do based on their personnel, and so we took that one set from them. But we've run that all conference play.
I think it was your Tuesday presser maybe where you broke down how the turnovers happen. You have 13 tonight. What did you do to avoid?
Well, we called too many stationary ball screens in the first half. Got strung out against the blitz. You can't do that. That was 4 of them. We had a couple more in transition per usual. That was another couple. I think we had 4 travels, or called travels, I should say. We had 4 called travels. I'm not going to comment on the officiating, Ron. We had four called travels. That gets us to 10 right there, right off the top of my head. So I have to go back and figure out what the other 3 were. But we've got to stop with the traveling. We've got to clean up the stuff in transition. Then we'll kind of go from there. We didn't have any on baseline or sideline out tonight. That was a positive. So we'll study them, and 13. We only had 5 in the second half. That's why we scored a lot more. What did we score? 40 some in the second half. 45 in the second half. So we don't turn the ball over. We had 8 in the first half, and so when you don't turn the ball over, you give ourselves a chance to get on the backboard.
Obviously, the calendar.
Kent's had a rough night, guys. He's ready to get out of here. You guys know we call in to like the post-game radio show. Did y'all know that? So like we go back here in the back hallway and we call into the post-game radio show. Do y'all all know that? So like before I do this, I call in to Chris Blair. Kent calls in. He's calling in on his calculator. He doesn't call in on tonight. He's punching the numbers in 578 whatever. It's like 578,000. Like he punches the numbers in on his calculator instead of his keypad tonight on his phone. Been a rough night for Kent. He's ready to get the hell out of here. So we got one more question.
Kent, I'll get you out of here in just a second.
That's
Coach,
a true story.
Yeah.
It's 100% true story.
That is the dog days of February.
Yeah, that's right.
And that leads into my
it's
question.
Even getting to
Obviously,
our SID.
Yeah.
Our damn SID's falling for it. Yep.
But the good news is calendar turns to March in a couple days, and you talked
Christian,
earlier.
you didn't know that, did you?
You
Make sure you let Bonnet know for me, since I don't have his number. Make sure you let Bonnet know. All right, sorry. Get to your question. Returning to March.
Yeah, and you talked about kind of getting back to the identity. How does the calendar turning and that everything that March signifies, and how does that help you kind of with the sense of urgency to get back to it?
A lot of times in February, look, we've been out of the league championship race for a long time. We've been out of the double bye since for a couple weeks now. So you're just kind of, playing it out. Now, after tonight, in my opinion, we pretty much clinched an NCAA berth tonight. We're playing for seeding at this point from here on out. So now you see a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Like it's, we've been in a patch where there's, we're just kind of slogging through it. And we're trying to get better, but there's no real, we can't get the double bye. We can't win the league. So we're just kind of, But now we got a chance to pick some momentum up this last week. You're going into the conference tournament. We're going to get in the NCAA, we're kind of playing for seeding. So now you got some stuff out there that you can, that hopefully you can get a little momentum. And I've been a part of teams that, it's all about when you get hot. It's all about when you start moving in the right direction. I've been a part of teams that play great all regular season and just collapsed when we got to the tournaments. I've been a part of teams that kind of sputtered. We went to the Final Four. We lost 3 of our last 4 regular season games. We tipped the ball in against Drexel in the quarterfinals of our conference tournament to even have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. So I've been a part, you see it happen every year. It's about when you can get hot. That's why I was talking about just getting back to our identity, getting back to what we do. If we do that, we give ourselves a chance maybe to get hot. And I've said this for like 2 weeks. I haven't said this to y'all, I don't think, but Kent's heard me say it. like we need something to like. We had such good rhythm and chemistry for the first month and a half of the. We need something to like reignite us. You know what I'm saying? Like we need something to like reignite. We just kind of been stuck in neutral. We need something to reignite us and put us back into high gear. And hopefully, hopefully we'll have that. Hopefully tonight's a start of that, getting our identity back, and then we need something kind of to pop us, and get that rhythm and chemistry and everything that we had back. It's not bad now, but it's just we're just in neutral. We're just kind of kind of meh. But we need to boom, get in that next gear, and hopefully we can find that. That's my job is to find that, and we're gonna keep trying and keep searching. Kent he's 578. It was like 578's the number. So he was really looking at his bank account, like 578,000. He's calculating all his bonuses. He's a state employee, unfortunately.